Okay, I think we're live. Are we live, everyone? Okay, I think we're live. I always mess this up. So we are live right now. It is Corn and we are waiting for the Holy Road to come in. And then as soon as he comes in, then we will pop him up. So right now it is Corn and I. So everybody say hello to Corn and I.
Hey,
So
everyone.
hello to Corn and I.
Well, and I thought what I could do is say that I know that I remember, and it looks like it was around almost a year ago now, whenever Holy Rogue first started putting his story out there. And what first struck me about him was how soft spoken and gentle he was, and also, voiced some uh, like feeling awkward at doing this, at talking to a camera, and also at telling these stories that, he'd held on to. And so it's been kind of cool to watch as he's gotten an even stronger voice, and sounds like having the community and having other people speaking out in the same way has really been helpful to him, so that he doesn't feel as awkward. So I'm looking forward to hearing, what he has to say.
And we're really excited about having him
Yeah.
because it's been interesting from a unique standpoint as far as his standpoint from an insider's point, because we know from our standpoint what
Yeah,
we're
the never in it. Yeah.
yeah, from a never in what we're trying to do, but from an inside point of view, so we're we're excited, not excited. I don't like that, but we're just,
We
you know,
look forward to, maybe looking forward to is the excitement feeling that you're talking about.
we just, we're wanting, to see that, because, we're just wanting, again, to continue on making a difference, because, again, we just want to continue making a difference and continuing on sharing that love, because we know that we just want to continue making a difference. That's all we want to do, is make a difference.
I am interested in some feedback from, from somebody who, I don't know how much he's seen of Chicago, but it's unique for the small amount of space that we have. And just wonder if he has any feedback on how we've approached things so far. And also that, depending on, who knows how many exes there are watching, ex Scientologists, that, and what Dylan told us last time, and we've all talked about it since then, really made a difference. And that is that he said, it's strange to see people stand up against something, that they're afraid, that they spent their lives being afraid of. And it's easier for us, of course, because those aren't the things that we spent our lives being afraid of. But if there's something we could say on behalf of you guys, or if there's a way that you would do it if you were us, we're very open to that criticism and that those suggestions.
If you were us.
And I can't see chat while I'm also seeing you, so I don't know what's happening there. I'm getting a message that he's here.
Yeah, okay. I sent the link through. Oh, okay. Oh, yay. Okay.
Hey, all
Woohoo!
right.
There
Thank
he is.
you.
Yay!
I figured it out.
Hey, this is new for me.
We didn't even say your name 3 times yet.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, yeah. I wonder what would happen.
I'm an educator. Come on.
It's
Yes,
nice to
she
be
is.
here. Thank you.
Yay, we are so glad you're here. Woohoo!
Thank
Come on,
you.
I'm an educator who's, had a crazy day. It was a fog delay, okay, we had fog yesterday. I should have had a fog delay, and we did not have a fog delay.
Wow, fog delay. I never heard of
Yeah.
that.
No.
Wow.
Well, so yesterday I had to go do stuff at where I was at, and we should have had a fog delay. No fog delay. So darn it.
Yeah,
I woke up
being
this-
close to Lake Michigan. My
Oh,
sons are
yeah.
both past fog delay age, and I'm not an educator. So, but I do have to watch what time I leave for work so that I don't get stuck behind the bus unless there's
Yeah, oh,
fog
yeah.
delay. Then I
I
just
know
gotta
what
watch
that's
for the
like.
deer.
I looked, so I was coming back from where I was doing. I blew past my driveway, backed up, hit my mailbox, and
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh crap.
Oh, no.
And I woke up this morning and looked, and I'm like, crap, no fall or no delay.
I'm gonna
And
dip
I'm
out
like,
now and let
seriously, I gotta go to
you
school
do
at
the
normal
interview, Dip,
time.
because my dogs are about to get loud. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go off of here. I'm gonna
Okay.
listen and be in the chat, and I can always pop back up later. But I
Okay.
just wanted to say it was good. It's good of you to agree to come on our amateur
Absolutely.
show
Yeah.
and give us a guest to ask questions of. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I have
Please.
been watching you since you started.
Wow. That's wild because I feel so embarrassed, you know? It's just,
No.
I expose myself like crazy and I've never done that before.
Yeah,
So-
and that's what I remember about you the most. And so I wanted to say, I think I put a comment
Yeah.
on your posts that you shared today that honestly, you've grown a lot since then. And so, and
Oh,
like you
that's
said,
nice to hear.
you use
Yeah.
your videos to document it for yourself so you can see your own growth. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is a brand new experience for me. I never
All right,
expected
guys, I'm
this to
dipping
happen.
out. I'll be in chat
Okay.
though. All
Cool,
right.
and we'll make you come back in later because I know you
Yeah.
have questions.
Okay.
Sounds great. All right.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Well, I can't see the chat, so feel free to ask me any questions or have you. I cannot see the chat, unfortunately.
Okay. So, and hopefully I remember to star stuff because this is new for me, like figuring like all of the starring stuff. So,
Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
like I always forget to star stuff. Okay, my problem is because I always modded.
Oh,
And like I would always like pay attention to the modding. So my problem is like I pay attention to like the talking
mhm.
and then I forget to like star and then I'm like, oh crap, I'm talking to like the person and then I forget to like star and then I'm like, oh crap, I gotta like double duty. So
yeah. My ADD would kick my butt on that.
yeah,
you
that
know?
too. So then I have like ADD and then I'm like, oh crud.
Yeah, right. It's just so it's too much to process at once.
And then I get
For me.
distracted because then I'm in my son's room and he's got fish.
Oh,
And
cool.
then I'm also looking at my son's baseball lamp. And then there's too much stuff because then I had to, if I'm out in the living room, my dog who barks
Yep.
annoys me. So there's too much.
Yeah, I got to set up a place for myself. I just tend to go up in the back porch and, if any neighbors hear me, oh, well, they can be entertained.
Because I have a Dachshund who's really fat, who eats too much cat food,
Oh, yeah. Hey.
who howls and barks if I stay out in the living room. So I'm like, no, I go in my son's room where it's quiet and the fish distract me, but I can handle that. Okay, so hang on. Okay. Ooh, okay. And then I just lost the chat. Okay, how do I? Okay, there we go. Okay, now I got to go back to the comments. See, this is great because we both have ADD or ADD.
For real, it's totally fine with me, man.
This is perfect. So we're fitting in. So, and poor thing, poor me, I'm an educator. So,
Oh, okay. So you're a teacher?
I am. I work with emotional disabilities kids.
Oh,
So
that's amazing. Oh, it's a real blessing to work with, be here. I think
so
what you're doing is great.
so my poor
Um,
kiddos are stuck with me, 5 days a week.
so in what kind of mental disabilities do you typically work with?
So I work with third through sixth graders.
Oh, okay. And so
So
would these be people with autism or
yep,
people
like
with,
autism, the blurter out kids, which is great because, we joke around that, they have no blurt box and so they can say it all. And,
wow,
we
what you're
just,
doing is very important. That's
oh,
great.
thank you.
I never had that growing up, in the being a Gen Xer.
I know
I
I didn't
did. I
either.
did have special classes though. Like I would be taken away from certain classes to go to this other room where there's just like two people,
Well,
and we get help. Steady. It was funny. I didn't pay attention and nothing.
see, I was
Unfortunately.
put behind the screen. And I
Ah,
remember standing on a desk and talking to all the people around me. And my teacher
wow.
would get so mad at me because I talked to everybody. And I was told I was the social butterfly of my class because I
Mm,
flew from one person to the next.
that's funny.
And
Hey.
my teacher would get so mad at me. Her name was Mrs. James, and she would get so mad at me because I would fly from one person to the next.
Hey, that's your nature.
And she would just get so mad at me and she would be like, do your work. And I'd be like, but I have to talk to so and so and so and so. And she'd be like, do your work. And I'd be like, but I have to do so and so and so and so. And she'd be
That's
like,
funny.
do your
Wow.
work. But no,
This is more important.
it was so
Yeah,
important,
it's
and
true. Yeah, my study history was horrible. I was a CDF student, because I was literally aimless. I didn't really have any interest. And my mother is a school teacher. She was a kind of prestigious. Like she was in high school, taught in the senior classes, and she taught the honors class for chemistry. So here I have a great teacher. I have my two sisters who are older than me, who were very smart. And here I am. I'm like taking over the other side of my family tree. We're just like the blue collar workers. We're just here to have some live every day. And I don't know what we're doing. We don't have that focus that everyone else does. And, on the creative side, though, I'm actually quite creative. I hope to get some stuff out soon.
see, that'll be good. You'll put your creative stuff out. And
Yeah.
my mom was my parents divorced, so it was my sister, my mom, and I definitely should have had better grades because I was more
Yeah.
focused on 100,000 other things.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I did cheerleading for a hot minute.
Yeah.
I definitely should have had better grades, and I ran track, and but I definitely wanted to just be with my people.
Yeah. Well, did you have good memories?
I did have good memories.
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah.
and that was good. So,
Yeah. So,
and I've definitely stayed friends with, some of my, people I have friends with, or I've, stayed friends with, some of my same people. And, my one friend, we've been friends since we were like 3. She lived next door to my
yeah.
parents.
I
And
wish I did that. I do think of my friends often because I don't know. I detach like that. It's like when I look at my patterns, it's only happened maybe 2 or 3 times, but I was with them, and then in less than 24 hours, I moved and I disconnected from them all. I didn't talk to them and nothing, and I just cut them off. And years gone by, and I tried it. Maybe I could contact them. I'm still kind of like, do I want to? you know,
now, do
but
you think that it was because of your because you're schizophrenic, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now,
Schizoaffective. Yeah,
now, were you always that way?
yeah. And when I look back now, and after all the studies, absolutely. It did not help that I have a drug history when I was a teenager. That added to it. It has to. And then you have my family line. You have. I started looking into my actual genetics, and I go, oh my god, there's actually a history of it in my family. Not specifically that, but um, I think my uncle, he was either autistic or schizophrenic. His behaviors were really off the wall. Now that I look back, I'm like, wow, yeah, he had something for sure. And it just acknowledges what I have. You know, um, it's been kind of fun to look back and say, oh yeah, I remember those days when I was infatuated with God, and none of my friends were. And
Oh, this makes so much sense. And it's like, wait a minute, this is my light bulb.
yeah. And it's funny because when I just leave like that, um, I definitely have, what do you call it? Spontaneity, what do you call it? Impulse, impulsiveness. And that impulsiveness does cause problems, and it's been tamed, but it really wasn't back then. Yeah, and I had the impulse. Yeah.
Well, and I think that because I see it in some of my kids,
Hmm.
their impulsivity, and I think that that um it's hard for these kids that um it's hard for them to not it's hard for them not to that impulse
Hmm.
not control themselves. They want to just
Well, the impulse is strong. I
yeah,
think that
they just
today they're
go with
stronger. I don't. I think it's more than just conditions too. Today, with with everything that's pulling our attention, we didn't have that in the '80s. I got to focus on, or hyper focus on, GI Joe, Transformers. You know, uh, Playing in the yard, cap guns. But today, forget it. The internet's just pulling you and pulling you and pulling you. So I think it plays a factor into people's conditions,
Now,
impulsivity as well.
they didn't have they have so much devices. And like we had, like you said, we had GI Joes and
Yeah,
outside,
we had She-Ra, He-Man, we had
and
action figures, and that was before video games. Even when
and all
Atari was
these
out.
devices. Like my kids do so much tech device stuff, which is so frustrating.
But
They
it's the way of the world now, and it's just the way of the world. If you're not doing that, then
and
you're out of the mainstream.
and like Amy just said, like we did our bikes for hours. Like I remember going on bike rides
Oh,
for
hell yeah.
hours.
Hell yeah. Bike rides were the best. I have a lot of good memories of that. Yeah.
And I remember going on bike rides for hours
I miss that so much. Yeah.
and like being on a bike for hours and getting just never coming back because
I know. Yeah,
even
it's true.
the winter,
Yep.
I grew up in Michigan
Yeah,
and
I grew up in Massachusetts. So it's pretty cold there as well. I know what you mean. We have snow and they last 6 months, you know. It's
I remember getting my gloves wet and then we'd put socks on. And our socks would get wet and then we'd put more socks on. And, okay, our socks are wet. So
yeah, right.
then, okay, our socks are, because our gloves are wet. So we'd put, socks in and then more socks and more socks.
Yeah, that's one reason. I guess it's true. You know why certain people are stronger in certain areas. It's our environment. You know, as far as the cold goes, like we can handle it. You know, we don't get so frustrated with the cold, or we can take the pain of the cold. Maybe not so much now. I mean, I've been away now for like 13 years. So I noticed some of my tolerances have dropped a little.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the, older we get, it's like,
No, that too. I mean, I'm going to be 50 in April, and I'm like, it's amazing reaching this age. It really is. You're like, I don't know if my thought process is different from other people. I don't know. I don't think so, but I get lots of thoughts like, remember when you were younger and looked at a 50-year-old and you were like, oh, like, what do you think of them? They had this presence, they were 50, they looked old. I mean, usually they had a cigarette or something because back then, but here I am, I'm 50. And I'm
well,
like,
welcome to the 50 Club because Corn and I just turned 50. So
that's nice. Guess who else is turning 50 in March? Mini Minion.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Well, so we can all we can all be in the 50 Club together.
Yeah,
so.
man.
Hey.
Well, I enjoy it. I'm ready for it. I got some plans.
It's the plan. We can all be 50 together. And
yeah, that's cool.
so see there we're all together turning 50 and and it's funny because I remember, it feels like like you said, we were all doing She-Ra and He-Man and G.I. Joe and
Yep.
here we are all turning 50 together.
Yeah, know what I missed the most? In their late 80s, like 88 to like the early 90s, 91, 92, I was a big comic book collector. And I would go to the comic book shows and the stores. But the stuff I would have had right now, the stuff I would have had, I had several first appearances of Deadpool, which is now like $600 or more. I had the first appearance of the Punisher, all these comic characters. And I was just like, oh my God, I guess I got rid of them, over time.
I had a Walter Payton rookie card. I gave it to some boy I had a crush on. I gave it to some boy, a Walter Payton rookie card.
Oh.
And I gave it to some boy in 5th grade because
that's hilarious.
A Walter Payton rookie card.
That was a big deal. That was a big deal.
And rookie card just because.
Man, yeah, I love to trade cards.
Because I was into like girly stuff, don't get me wrong, but I was also into football, like obsessed with football. Yep. And I thought, I'll give it. And I even remember this boy's name. And, I want to bang on this guy's, like I want to bang on his door right now. Say, dude, do you have my Walter Payton freaking rookie card? He probably doesn't.
That'd be hilarious. No, imagine he had it. That'd be funny.
I just want to bang on his door and say, yo, dude, give me my Walter Payton rookie card.
Yeah. What, you're married? Give me my card back.
Yeah. Say to his wife, woman, he has my Walter Payton rookie card. Also, I remember having, because my cousin and I we're only like a year and a half apart, and we both had the Transformers giant.
Oh, the space shuttle?
space shuttle thingy.
Yeah, I forgot what that was called.
I don't remember what it was called.
I know
but
what you're
it was
talking about.
ginormous.
Yeah, I remember that shit. Wow, that goes back.
Had those thingies, and we played with those together in
Yeah.
his backyard.
Those were the days, man. Really,
And
I wish they still existed. I mean, they do, but our action figures are the computer screen. For example, I need my gaming. I always thought like, okay, I'm gonna put gaming away, and I get like that, but then it's like a week later, I'm like, no, I need it. I have to have it. Not so much because of, well, my reasoning is it calms my mind down. It gives me just a place to just, I don't know, what's the word, hyper focus on, because that's my brain is made that way. And learning about myself, you realize, okay, what you can fight and what you don't have to fight all the time. And you realize the things that you don't have to fight all the time, you don't have to in your own space. If I'm going to play video games for a few hours, I'm going to do it because
that's
it keeps my sanity, and others have their own reasons. But I've been playing. Have you heard of Marvel Rivals?
yes.
Oh man, is it fun? I'm like, wow, you can play with all these superheroes. It's so great. So I've been playing that. I kind of suck at it, to be honest.
That's okay.
Well, it seems like I do. I don't have a team, but I'm having a blast with that. And I don't. Oh, I guess my point was just that.
Like hyper focusing.
Yeah, and you know what? You give yourself time to do that. If that's what you have, if you're built that way, do things in your life that are catered to you, but not in a degrading way or not in a harmful way.
Well, no, and like so, like that's why like the girls and I like. Okay, so that's why we go out to Chicago, and that's why we do crazy stuff. And
that's really cool.
We mix it. We go out, we do self-care, and we protest, and we do a little bit of self-care, and we do a little protest, and we do a little bit of self-care.
That's nice. Do you mind if I ask what kind of self-care?
We go to the zoo. We will do inflatables. So if you were going to do an inflatable, what would you do?
You mean like an animal?
Like any animal, like
inflatable. Like I got balloons. I'm going to make something,
or whatever. So like corn.
What do you mean by inflatable?
Like the air inflatables, like the Christmas or like the Halloween inflatables, like the Kenny inflatables.
Oh, okay, just big inflatable. Oh gosh,
big inflatables.
That's a good question.
Like if you were going to be a Halloween inflatable, what would you pick?
Oh, okay. So you actually go in these things?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hey, my ignorance. Let's see. God, like give me a time to give me time to think about it. That would be nice. Yep, of course, absolutely. God.
Corn has like a gazillion. She's got.
I think of creepy stuff. I think of some creepy. Like a Ronald McDonald. He's creepy as hell. But
we go right in front of the org and we do this.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. All right.
They don't know what to, the thing is they don't know how to take it because
no, I was there. I was on that side. I know exactly what their mindset is generally. Yeah, they can't take it.
They can't take it. Like we stay in our bubble. We don't go out of our bubble.
Nope. And you're told it's dangerous.
And
you're told it's dangerous, and you're like, you believe it. It's so bad.
It's so great because just the looks we get sometimes are absolutely great.
Wow. You know,
And
it'd
you
be fun to
know,
be it'd be fun to be an inflatable of like the Crow.
and
And be like just looking at him, you know.
caw, caw.
You know the movie The Crow, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just something silly like that. Or even paint my face that way. That would be
And,
really cool.
and crows hold grudges, correct?
I love crows. I love crows. They're very symbolic
And
and they're the
so why
smartest
did
bird.
you pick that? Because that's your thing, correct? Is a crow
Yeah,
and a cross,
yeah.
correct?
I actually made it a tattoo. If I can move this camera right. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And I did that about, you know what's crazy? I did that tattoo like the place was going to close at 6 p.m. and I had to do it that day because I'm a symbolic person. And my wife, you know, told me about Three Kings Day. And Three Kings Day is a time, it's like Christmas, where we acknowledge the three wise kings who came to see Jesus, right? And, you know, they put out presents and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I've been thinking about what tattoo do I want? I've been wanting one so bad, but I want it to be something symbolic. So I made this tattoo, and I just took a few different pieces of art and put it together. And I was like, yeah, that's it, because I had actually got a vision of it in my head. I was like, oh, that's it, and then I made it on the computer, and I got it done on January 6th, 2020, which is the day of the whole Trump bullshit. You know, of the whole what was it when they attacked the White House or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so that's the day I got my tattoo, and I was like, oh, I didn't know it was related, but it's easy to remember when I got it. What was my point? Oh, the crow.
No,
So,
you're the
yeah,
crows and your tattoo.
yep. Um, this tattoo for me is perfect because it fits my fluctuating moods. There's times when spirituality gets me very depressed, and I feel like it's been ruining my life. And you see that in the tattoo. You see that in the image. But you also see the flip side of the coin for myself. And I see the the holiness kind of melting away the other world, kind of singling you out, and it's painful, but it's also a place of sanctuary. And the crow is I call myself a rogue because I like to do things on my own. You know, I like to think on my own, and that is, well, the crow does have a flock, you know, but the raven is usually alone. Um, in the mystical sense, they're very, very intuitive. I happen to be very intuitive, whether some of that's schizophrenia or not, but I feel I've been right with my intuitions. Um, and I mean, that's kind of it generally. I like the sun in the background too, because it shows the circle not completed yet. It shows a circle being formed, which is a cycle, whatever cycle it may be. I also see it as a sun that's setting or rising. So it really fits what mood I'm in. And it always makes sense to me, which I'm really happy about because that's the kind of tattoo I wanted. Something symbolic, and I don't regret it, you know?
Well, it fits you and it's perfect.
Yeah, it does. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, and you seem to be very intuitive. I don't see it as being with your disorder. I don't, and maybe it ties in, but it also is an intuitiveness because a lot of
Mm,
people who have a disorder are also very intuitive.
yeah,
And
yeah.
realistically, because they're able to tie into being intuitive and pick up on things
Yep.
that other people don't normally pick up on.
No, it's actually very true. And that's a gift. And it's also a curse, but um, yeah, a really simple example that probably a lot of us do, but some of us don't. And it's not a right or wrong thing. But, how many times do you find pictures and things just looking at the wall and you go, oh, I see this. Oh, I see that. You're in an elevator and you're looking at the wall and you see a face, or you see different shapes, and you're doing that just out of creativity. And to me, it kind of reveals also that intuitive side where you perceive things that others don't and you get entertainment from it. And it's funny, I'll get entertainment, and that's one of the reasons why I acknowledge God and the Holy Spirit and Jesus, because there's always that terminal there. There's always that presence. And I do feel like I can communicate to it. And it goes much deeper. I won't go so deep right now, but there's always that communication there for me. So when I do see something, I can acknowledge it and saying, thank you, Lord, for this sign. And it will be a sign for me. I'll notice that it helps me out. I'll notice, maybe I won't notice anything. I haven't really looked back and saying, well, all those things I noticed, which ones were good and which ones were bad. I haven't necessarily done a list like that.
Well, and I think that it's about noticing. I think it's about noticing all the gifts, whether they're crappy gifts or noticing all the positive gifts, because we're all given gifts, whether
Yes.
the gifts suck.
Well, we're all different, man. We all have our individual gifts. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Try to understand yourself and enjoy your character. It's true. I just wanted to back that up for you. It's like, yeah, you're right. We all have our own gifts.
And none of us have asked for anything. We weren't asked. It's about how we handle these things and how we figure these things out.
Yeah.
Now,
how we handle them, yeah, it's a big one.
Now, I have a question for you.
Great,
as
yeah.
far as how, because you've shared in your channel and other channels how you got in and how you got out. How did you decide to go in, and how did you decide you were done and decide to get out?
Sure. It's like a mental cycle that repeats in the head. You're like, I want to get out of here. I want to get out of here. I want to get out of here, like every day. But then you're like, but I'm doing the best thing I can for us as spiritual beings. That's the thing that keeps people in Scientology, is they believe it. And they believe it hardcore because they trust in that e-meter and whatnot. Maybe some of the common knowledge that Scientology uses in the beginning. But and also all the confidence you see people wearing. Like the OTs walking around very confident. And then you find out who they really are. And he's like, it's just a facade. But so when I first got in, I was very excited. Schizophrenia was definitely there, because when they said, oh, it's a Church of Scientology, I literally thought of a church. And I thought I'd be washing clothes with like nuns or something. It was really weird. I had some crazy thoughts in my 20s. I was 20 years old. I was like, wow, okay, well, I'm up for that because I was always spiritual, even before the Scientology. I'd write in my journals about God, and I would always be studying something, whether I comprehended it or not, about spirituality. And so when I hit Scientology, I was like, wow, here's something that's like an organization all about it. This should be great. It was right up my alley. Meanwhile, my father and mother are like, you need to focus on a career. And like I told you, I was not a good student. So I had no aim, no focus. I would just rather work and just let me get up, do my 8 hours, wherever it is, I'll do it well and come home and do my thing. And so when I got in, there was a lot of alarms that said, hey, this is a weird place. But my curiosity got the better of me. And I joined pretty fast. And within a year, I left. I joined 3 separate times. I left 3 separate times. And the common denominator of those is just I still believed it. And I did like the people. Scientology staff are good people. You have to make sure, whoever's listening, like, Scientologists are not jerks. There might be a few. There's definitely a few in there, but Dave Miscavige, of course. You're talking about just regular old staff like myself who joined because it sounds good. Some of the best friends I had. Some of the best laughs. One day, maybe they probably see me. Maybe they're on YouTube and are looking at me. I don't know. But maybe one day we'll talk, and this would be fantastic, to talk to some of my old staff friends. Of course, they can't be in Scientology. They'd have to be out. But so some of the alarms, like some of the things that made me want to leave was you can't survive on your own. You cannot survive on staff pay. And their demand on you is so heavy. We know what it's like in the Sea Org by following other people who have talked about it. The staff is similar but different. And, I've even heard some Sea Org say being on staff can be harder because you have to be in the real world. You have to pay rent. You have to worry about those things, where Sea Org does not. Sea Org doesn't have to worry about food, even though it's not the best food. But when you're making $20 in a whole week of working 60 plus hours, and you're down stat, meaning your statistic went down that week and everyone thinks you're a piece of shit. I can't read these comments, unfortunately.
No, you're good.
Okay. And
Minnie just said that she understands what you're saying. Oh, hang on. I got to go back. I should have started. Hang on.
mhm.
No, hang on. Stupid computer.
No problem.
Oh, okay. Minnie says that she understands what you're saying with her experience when she went back to Clearwater.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so when I struggled, and they try to help you, but not really, they kind of look at you as more of a problem. Like, oh, just figure it out, or here, use this Scientology knowledge to figure out your finances, or do this and do that. It doesn't fix it. Like, I still need more income, and you work a side job. You have to work what they call a moonlight. So I'm in my 20s. I had plenty of energy. It's very different from today. So, I worked another side job, and you make the best of it.
Well, and then it seems like, and then Miss B and Seth D said, all were hoodwinked, much like you, and many others, and none can say that they could never be hoodwinked into something questionable, and
Yeah.
and all were many, or hang on. So, and they were hoodwinked into something
Yep.
questionable, and we all have more than twice.
Yeah, and when you after you leave and you're actually on the other side, like that big relief, you definitely acknowledge the fact that I was hoodwinked, or I think a stronger word is you've been heavily deceived. You've been heavily deceived, and deception is deception, and deception is a word like you don't know if you're being deceived. It's like when you believe something is true, but in actuality it's not. You're being deceived. And so we get deceived all the time. And some of those deceptions we keep around because it's part of our lifestyle. I don't know, and some of us don't see the deceptions at all and fight against anybody who tries to call out a deception. But just the concept that you could be believing something that's actually not true, and it happens. It's okay to look, it's okay to question things.
Well, and I'm sure there's been more than their fair share of people who have had their close calls,
Oh.
because Major Disappointment Helgier has said she's had a few close calls with cults, and I'm
Oh, okay.
sure, there's been more people who have had their fair share with that, as far as
Yeah,
different types
yeah.
of, and it actually in my area, where I live, we have a cult that just bought my local elementary, or
Oh God.
the old elementary, and it's like, oh, come on, they just bought the old elementary,
I know.
and it's like, what are they going to do with it? It's like, we know it's a cult, even though they say
Yep.
it's
Oh, of course.
or
Yeah,
whatever, and it's like,
I
we
know.
know it's a cult.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, so what are they going to do with it? We know it's a cult. We were talking about it the
Yeah.
other day, and
And they put out their PR and all that crap, and it's like,
I don't even remember what it's called or whatever.
yeah, it doesn't matter. It's probably got the word Christ in it somewhere.
Like, a cult is a cult is a cult. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. um,
and then, so you got out in 2011, correct? Like,
that was the
for
last time.
done, correct?
Yeah, that was the last time I left, finally. Yeah, and that was the crazy time too. Like, if you've seen that interview with me thinking I was an OT7 and all this crazy shit, and the divorce, like leaving my wife and child behind because I was an OT7 and I had to get out of there. Like, there must be other motivations behind the scenes. Like, and I do thank the Holy Spirit for that, because it puts me in a way better spot. In the end, it's not just I'm out, but I'm out with my wife and I'm out with my setup that I have, which is perfect for my condition. And, I look back and I go, okay, well, what was that experience for? I think everything you do is a lesson. Everything. We're here to witness everything. And we are We're learning every day. Sorry, I lost my train of thought a little bit. I got distracted.
Nope, you were talking about your wife and your daughter and
Yeah, that was a crazy time leaving. Crazy time. But I left and it can be done. And it was the best thing I ever did. So
and
actually, here's an important detail. But you had a question?
no, I was just gonna say, and it is a scary thing, and it
Oh,
can
hell
be done.
yeah.
Like it can really be done.
Yep, it can be done. It's all this fear, but it can be done. And dude, I did that whole routing form process and the marriage counseling in Scientology, all with that attitude of like, yeah, I'm an OT7, and yeah, I gotta. This ain't right for me anymore. Like I can't be married like this, and it was so fucked up. I really believed it, and
And you believe, I mean, the thing is you obviously believed in it because
yeah,
you
oh yeah,
tried.
I believed
You
in it very much. Yeah, I believed in it very much, and I thought it was awesome. Like, wow, I'm this kind of person, and you kind of, when I look back on it, you're role playing your own life. Like the e-meter in Scientology lets you create what you want to create. In auditing sessions, they can't evaluate for you. They can't be like, well, Glitter, that's a little weird to say, or, well, that's a bit, whatever. They can't say anything. All they can say is, okay, acknowledge you, and then give you a command. Like, uh, think of an earlier, similar time you like the color blue, some bullshit. But they'll say it more specific than color blue. It'll be something more direct.
it's like,
And
whatever.
so then when you're thinking about it and you trust the e-meter, because the auditor's reading the needle, which just goes, whatever, I'm not trained in it. You're thinking, oh my God, they know, and it's reading my spiritual energy. And then they go into past lives because they go earlier similar, and you're fucking 2 years old. And you go, well, nothing's earlier than that. Well, it must be a past life. And then you start looking. That's the dangerous part, man. You start looking for truth in your imagination. You're being really well deceived. And then you start creating this reality for yourself. You're like, oh my God, yes, I was a captain on this spaceship that destroyed 3 planets. And people say that shit, like 2 billion years ago. That's not far fetched. And it's like, then they walk around getting a coffee and walking down the street feeling great because, oh my God, I was a space captain. No wonder I love Star Trek, some bullshit like that. But they make it a truth and they believe it. And I was guilty of that. And Scientology just keeps on feeding it, validating it, validating it. Oh, the meter says it, yeah. And then the guy's just going, wow. Now, of course, it fades away. It fades away because problems in life, But
Well,
it's
the best
fascinating.
thing is so in the Scientology or in the Chicago org, we laugh about this. They have a coffee shop
Yeah.
in their org, and we always laugh about it because we're like, do you think they'd let us in to go get a coffee? Because it says all are welcome. I mean, we never obviously went in because we don't want to like push those buttons or whatever, but we
Yeah.
joke around because we're like, they have a coffee shop in there, and we can see all their
All that coffee shop it's a spider web. That's all it is.
and
It's like, oh, here's your prospect, the person that you've been assigned to go after their money. They're after course. Okay, go after them.
and we just laugh because we're like, ooh, we can see their coffee, and
Yeah.
we just sit out there and we laugh, and we're just like, we can just go down the road and get our own coffee. And
Yeah, right.
it's just the funniest thing because
It
we
is.
just we do our thing, and we'll just
It's
go
not for the public. It's
oh
it's for
100%.
yeah, it's just a spider web.
It's
Yeah.
100%. And we just, we laugh and, what we feel bad for are the Columbia kids because those
Oh,
Columbia
yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
those
Big
freshman
time.
kids
Big
is
time.
what kills us
I
because
would like
they're
to
right
see.
next to those freshman babies. Like
Well, you
those
know
are
what could really kill it
my
though?
kids' age.
No, you're right. Freshman kids are what, 18, 19,
Yeah,
20. That was my age, and that was prime. My mind was open to anything because I wanted to know more about spirituality, blah, blah, blah.
those
So,
freshman kids tell us all the time we've made such a difference on them because they said to
yeah.
us before we stopped for the winter, they told us we've made such a difference because they thought that in the beginning they thought that everybody was such a joke. I mean, they really did. They said in the beginning they were like, "Oh, whatever."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the more everybody started coming back and they saw the same faces, they saw Corn chalking.
Yeah.
And then they saw everybody coming back and Corn with her chalk. And Corn kept chalking and chalking and doing all of the things. And they just kept seeing the same group of us coming back and coming back and coming back. And then they were like, wait a minute, it's the same group of people coming
Yeah.
back,
And they
coming back.
start to listen. They start to listen even more
And then they were
serious.
like, wait a minute, it's the same group of people coming back. Okay, it's not maybe every weekend, but it's the same couple of weekends a month or
Mhm.
whatever, maybe a couple of times a month or whatever. And, okay, this is, we're telling, a few people or whatever. And, they're making a difference or whatever. So, then we started talking to the same groups of people.
That's really good.
So,
Well,
and that's good. So, and
it
our
is very good.
go back
You-
hopefully in the next couple of weeks once Corn gets her boot.
That's cool. That's cool. That's a huge area, the college right there. I would, if I was there, listen to me, if I was there, but no, if I was there, I would be talking to some of the college kids about, probably you guys have, I'm sure, but about the crazy stuff you see, the stuff that doesn't look right. If you could just write an article about it for somebody to see, you know, put it in a blog or put it in a local newspaper or somewhere. I mean, like, this is what I saw as college kids, and we want this exposed. I'm trying to go to class, and they keep on trying to get me in to see a film. I said no 5 times already, but they keep on, looking at me and going after me on it, or just whatever it may be. There's a lot of weird shit that we can do. Scientologists can do. I think, yeah.
So now I have a couple of questions.
Oh, cool.
So what because like I had all the time in the world today at my big girl job, I had all the time in the world. So beach or snow, what would you pick?
Say it again.
Beach or snow, what would you pick?
That's a tough one. Believe it or not, I do snow.
Snow?
Because you know why? You know why?
Dead. Why?
Wait, you know why? They're both good. I'm not saying the beach is bad, but snow, because I love to cuddle up in the warmth, like of a cabin or of something with fire, and that whole wearing the jackets, but being comfortable in the snow, being comfortable. Being uncomfortable in the snow is horrible, but
No,
it can be enjoyable.
No, I'm going for the beach, dude. I mean, no, I would go beach anytime. Like, dude, I'm over although we haven't even gotten much, although I will say we haven't gotten much snow where I'm at. So I guess I should be happy.
I mean, good snow. We're talking it's got to be good, fluffy, perfect for making snowmen.
Snowmen, like where we had, okay. What I really miss is the old snow, where we got snowed in snow.
Yeah.
Like the
And
old
Massachusetts all the time.
Like,
You know what I loved is I'd be out there with my sisters or friends, you know, preteen or even early teen, and having a blast, or
yes,
even just shoveling the driveway, right? But you're you go inside the house. We had a wood stove, and it was awesome. So you put your boots and your gloves near the wood stove,
and how
and
we smell that smelly
oh
smell.
yeah, yeah. You can just put in a pot of water with some orange, or apple, whatever,
How
and
had
it
that
was so
smelly
great.
smell. My dad had a wood stove, and how
Hmm.
it would have that smelly smell.
I loved it though. Yeah, it was so great. It heated up the whole house, and that was really enjoyable. And then you have your cocoa, and it was invigorating, And then after you did all that work, you were tired, your body was tired, but mentally you felt good.
So, how do you think that humor factors in to protesting Scientology?
Very, very big. It's like I'd say in the top two, top three. Humor connects. It's like a universal language, but it also peels back the sticker. You can see like it. It reveals something. People can receive that. It's like they can receive comedy more than just seriousness or straightforwardness. Um, we may have seen that for ourselves, but you have good comedy out there protesting. People are going to love it.
See,
People are going to be
I don't know if
looking
you
into it.
watched us, like the girls and I, we've tried. We're not grown-ups when we go
Yeah,
out there.
that's cool. Yeah,
We are not we are not adults.
yeah, yeah,
We are not like we are not grown-ups.
yeah.
We don't want to be adults.
No,
I
no.
mean, I don't like being a grown-up is for grown-ups.
Yeah, right. But I know we're
And
we're in the,
like
we're in the 50 club now. It's like,
like
damn,
being a grown up is overrated. So I mean that's why we put inflatables on. That's
that's awesome.
why
That's
talk.
awesome. Look, it's
That's
perfect.
why like I will go out there and like dance like an idiot and
People can
like
receive that. People can look at it from a distance or close but get the message of the sign or get the
and
message of what
like
you're saying.
Ellie has like her stuff that she's amazing at the stuff that she puts on for signs and
That's good.
like again like adulting is overrated.
It's
you
way
know
overrated. Well, we were taught what adulting was from our parents, and it's such a changing time. It's like it leaves us still in limbo a little bit. And Gen Xers, we still have.
Brian just said I'm not a grown-up. He does a good job at faking it. I
I'm
just I
not a
don't
grown
ever
up.
want to be a grown-up. I
Serious, serious conservative, and you know, you have to do adult things.
other people can be the grown-ups. I don't, again, if you ever, watch us in Chicago, we again are not, we are not grown-ups when we go out there.
Mhm.
You know, we stay in our bubble. We make sure we definitely stay in our bubble. We don't go in their area because we don't want to go
Yeah,
in
you
the
don't want to break
bubble.
the rules. There's
We do
rules to
not
this
break the
game.
rules. We do
Yep,
not
there's
break the
rules.
rules. We know the rules. We know the
Yeah,
rules very well.
good.
Because again, I know my big girl job, and I don't want to. I really don't want to lose my big girl job.
Yeah,
But
exactly right.
I
No,
really don't want to lose my big girl job. But
no way, no way. you're doing the right thing, and just follow the rules, and all I can do is fight this pretend battle that's going on, and that's the really sad part.
You know,
And it's really sad.
we also know that, when we go out, we give ourselves self-care, because we go out, we have a good time, and we give ourselves self-care because
Well, you're bonding too, and this is what life is about. Like that friendship and love is what is so valuable. Like I've always liked the skeleton, because it tells us we're all skeletons. We can die at any time, and
anybody can die at
when
any time.
anytime. And when I see when everyone dies around me, I get the very poetic feeling of, yeah, that's life. Now, what do you get out of it? You kind of just see all the good, or you see the good memories. You get the bad ones too. Depends who it was, right? But I'd like to leave behind good memories, good emotions. And I think that's what matters. Can you leave behind good emotions?
So
And it
now,
goes deeper.
question, where were you a year ago?
I was here. Yeah. Where was I a year ago? Doing exactly what I'm doing now, but not on YouTube yet, I don't think.
So now, where do you think you'll be a year from now?
I would hope to have some of my artistic works published and doing well with that. I mean, relatively well. I'm not looking for some like big bank, but relatively well as far as, hey, I got rewarded for doing that, and um, it's it's hard for me to answer. It really is. Those questions like, where would you like to be? It's like always tough for me because there's so many factors. Yeah, I would like this, I would like that, but and I don't
I mean,
seem to
those
be a
are
good.
hard things.
Yeah, I don't seem to be a good planner. I really don't.
I'm
I,
not.
yeah, it's unfortunate, but I'm not a good planner. Um, I'll have things I want to do, and then 5 years later, it's still not done.
It's like the laundry.
Oh yeah.
I hate
Oh,
laundry.
yeah, laundry sucks.
It really sucks. I had this thing. So we have this thing. It's called, we got this book thing, and it's called the Atomic Plan. I don't even remember what it's, the Atomic something, and you pick a thing, and I picked mine. It was laundry. The laundry is still sitting there because I thought, oh, hey, great, I'll pick laundry, because I used to be really good at putting my laundry away, and
Yeah.
laundry.
I know.
Hate
I know.
laundry. I have too much laundry. That's the problem, because I have too many clothes.
Okay. I have too much junk, and I'm not so much like a pack rat or anything, but I just have stuff. I need to go through all my stuff and be like, I don't need that. I don't need that. And we can do that with our clothes. Like, I think it's with my condition. I could care less what I wear. I really don't care. Like, I can wear baggy jeans and a t-shirt every day. I've never been attentive to my personal looks. Like, oh, I got to wear this, got to get nice clothes. Those are nice things to have for a person, that I've never cared about it. And so I don't have a collection of clothes. My wife does.
See,
And,
your wife and I would probably get along well.
Yep.
And, I have a lot of clothes.
You would actually, because especially with what you do for a living at your job. I mean, she has an autistic son, my stepson, and she knows a lot about that field. So yeah, you guys would probably get along great.
And, I'm also very, I have a lot of sentimental crap between both of my boys. And then,
Yeah.
I have like a box.
So I love sentimental. Sentimental's good.
You know, I have a lot of, like, when my grandpa passed away, I have a lot of sentimental crap from him. And then some other, other things that I have from, other people and, from my kids. And I'm like, I really should, like, you know, do whatever.
Mm.
And I'm like, I can't because
Yeah.
what if?
Do you ever eBay?
No, see, that is my thing because I'm like, I could eBay it or
eBay is
I could
amazing.
Poshmark it.
I love eBay. eBay is like the compulsive person's dream, but also it's a great way to get rid of like valuable stuff.
See,
Really
I
is.
did buy a pair of boots off of, was it Poshmark, or I bought a pair of Uggs the other day off of somebody the other day off of Poshmark or one of
Mhm.
those sites the other day because my one pair of Uggs ripped out the other day and I needed to
Mhm.
replace my Bailey Uggs. So I was like, I'll buy a new pair of Bailey Uggs. So, thank you to the other, person who needed to get rid of them. I needed a new pair of Bailey Uggs. So
Yeah.
those should be coming in the next couple of days.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing looking at the landscape of our future.
I know, isn't it great?
Yeah, we are in a serious change right now. Serious change.
Like a crazy serious change.
Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily going to be good in
When
the
steak
long run. In the
eggs
long
are
run.
$6 a dozen.
Ah, man.
I had, well, and I did, well, not, okay, not that this was funny, but somebody said to me, because I had somebody give me eggs the other day, and I didn't realize the eggs were actually $6 a dozen. And then somebody at school said they were $6 a dozen. And I'm like, nah. And then they were like, no, they're $6 a dozen. And I was like, shut the door.
It's messed up,
And
man.
I'm like, that is messed up. I'm like, they're freaking chickens.
Well, as a person who likes doom and gloom as far as like apocalyptic stuff, like what's the future going to be like? I do see revelations. I do see it take place. I'm going to do a video at some point just showing all the different signs that I've seen. And it could be me just being a fool, that's fine. But it could be accurate too, you know. Some amazing signs. And one of them, which some of you will agree with and some won't, it's okay. I'm not preaching here, just sharing some concept, is back in the day, the people who've read the Bible and preached it throughout generations, when they read about the mark of the beast, they'd try to figure out what it meant. Oh, it's this or that, or we don't know, or it makes no sense. But today, being in the condition we're in, being in the awareness we're in, the mark of the beast is very easy to comprehend. Very easy to comprehend. So you have as a president Trump with one of his right hand men, Elon Musk, who is the creator of Neuralink. Neuralink is an actual device for your head to operate the internet or to communicate in some way with the internet. And you have already in Sweden, Switzerland, I don't remember exactly where, Norway, they're already doing chip parties. They're inserting the chips right in their right hand, and they just put it right inside. It's already happening. And so the point of that is in Revelation, it does say rich or poor, no matter where you're from, doesn't matter. You won't be able to buy, trade, or sell without the mark of the beast. And we're seeing the AI system take over. We're seeing it take over. And it's going to be connected to this chip where you can walk with freedom. The people who don't really care, whatever, like I said, I could be the fool, no problem. But you could walk with this freedom of not needing a wallet, not needing keys. It's very enticing. And also, we could be brought to a point where we have no choice. When you look at these situations like brewing now, what if World War III takes place and during the war or after it, we're all forced to take the chip because that's the only way it can happen, whatever. They'll make it where it's a situation where you kind of have to. And those who refuse it, well, they'll figure out their own way. They probably have a faith, and will do what they do. Each person does what they're going to do. But I find that fascinating. I mean, it's right on the horizon. And if you need proof for that, just look at what China is doing. China has a social credit score. So imagine you, Glitter, as a person living in China, and you have a score. I don't know how the rating system works, but you have a score of, say, 500. You, as a person in general, not for your credit, not for your finances, but you. So if you get in a car accident and you're guilty, you're going to lose some of your points. If you do something good, who knows what, is going to go up. And depending on your score, you can't go to certain restaurants. You can't go and do certain privileges because of your score. And one of those things that they penalize, the whole list is there. The whole list of what they penalize and reward is available. Is if you study the scriptures that you get penalized. I mean, it's amazing. And this is communist China. They have cameras everywhere. They are face recognizing you everywhere. If you jaywalk, I'm not making this up. If you jaywalk on the street, you will be found out and your social credit score would be dipped. I think that this is the prototype of what they're going to do worldwide. Maybe country by country, bit by bit, or all at once. Elon Musk has his stuff set up. Also in Revelation, it talks about the kings of the earth will conspire together to fight against the Lord. And I think that's what's going on now. I don't think you just see Trump versus everybody. I don't think you just see all the other characters. Trudeau or this or that. I don't know if Trudeau, but there's certain people you can tell are a king of the earth, even as a metaphor, like Putin. Putin's acts like this top dog of this planet because he has that power, and Trump thinks he does. Working together, they can create this system. It's not a problem, and they're doing it. And how they're doing it, are they fooling us? Yes, I think so. Again, that's just an opinion of mine. I can be dead wrong. It's fine with me. But we're seeing it all unfold, and it's amazing. I'm kind of excited because of my faith. I'm like, yeah, this is happening.
Well, it's interesting to see. I mean, it's scary on one
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see how it's unfolding.
It's so interesting. It's so interesting. That's the best phrase for it. I mean, we're going to all watch. We're going to all witness what's going on. And get educated on what the chip is and all that, because it's coming right down the line. And look up when it will come into mainstream, because it's already out there.
Oh, 100%. Because I remember seeing that. And like you said, I don't remember what country it was, but I remember hearing about it not that long ago.
Right. So imagine this. I'm just saying this because it's my own belief, but imagine reading in the scriptures written thousands of years ago about the end times, and it says about the chip. It says you have a mark in the forehead or right hand. That's Elon Musk with his Neuralink and others. There's other companies doing the same thing. And the chip in the hand. It fits like a hand in the glove, you know? It's so easy to see. And a lot of people have seen that. A lot of people do see this. And anyway, each individual has to have their own concern about it. Or not. They can just don't care. It's okay too. Like, sometimes I hate talking about my faith because I try not to be at all preachy. I don't want to be preachy. It's just my opinion. And those
But
things can change.
it's not necessarily you being preachy, it's your faith.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. It's true. I'm just telling you my faith.
I mean, it's not you being preachy, it's your faith. And,
Yeah.
people don't have to be, people can take it or leave it, but it's
Yeah.
your faith.
Right. Right. And
it is scary, but it is your faith.
yeah, right. These things you can observe, and I'd say go and look at that. Go look at China. Anybody listening and wants to know, it'll scare you. COVID started as a this is what I heard, but COVID started as a protest. The protesting of the social credit score in China happened, and then COVID happened. COVID is again, opinions. It's a pandemic. It was planned. I think a lot of these things are planned. Here's the thing they did with the COVID. I don't think it's ever happened in the world. Tell me what you think. They got compliance by every official in the entire world of what to do, and the majority of the people on the planet. They got worldwide compliance to an order. Like, that fascinates me. I'm like, wow, look what they can do now. They couldn't do that before. And in a matter of weeks, it's fascinating. Just some thoughts.
Well, and again, it's always interesting, and again, it's your, and again, it's your thoughts, it's your faith.
Yeah. And I am okay with being wrong. That's one of the biggest lessons I've learned. One with being the one who with my condition, but also with faith in general. Like, I am totally okay with being wrong. I've been wrong in the past. It humbled me greatly. And yeah, teach me, life will teach me.
And I love that everybody has their own different way of faith, because
They do, yeah.
How one person's way of faith is a different, like, everybody has a different way of faith.
100%. And that's great. You know what? That's great. I can remember times when I didn't have any faith, or I didn't believe, like when I was in Scientology. I had my own faith in Hubbard's quackery, but
it was still, okay, it was a quackery, but it was still faith.
Yeah.
Again, it was a quackery, but it was still a faith.
Yeah.
And you can say, and that's what they're all still believing in right now, is it's still a way of faith.
Yeah.
And
you know what's funny? Yeah. Do you know what's really funny? I don't know what policy it's from or whatever he wrote or lecture. I can't remember. But Hubbard did say when he comes back that he's going to be a political figure. And I don't know what else he said, but if some people think that Hubbard looks like Trump, and it's weird. It's fucking weird, dude. If you put them together, you see the lips look the same, and like some of the shit. Some people probably believe that, like, oh, that's him. It's funny, man. It's funny. I'm sure there are Scientologists out there who do think that, and whatever, I. So, do any people have any comments or questions?
Oh, Corn wants to come up to the stage, so I'm going to pull her up real quick.
Okay, great.
Okay, hang on. Okay.
Hey, Corn.
Okay.
Hi. I wrote down a couple questions.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
So, I was kind of reminding myself by watching some of your videos earlier, and so I wrote it down from then. But you talked about one of your jobs was working at administering the Purif.
Yes.
And that was like the hardest job that you thought you had. Was it because, the sheer amount of vitamins you have to give people?
Well, the difficulty was mainly with the people. Could it have been sane and nice? Yes. But I think with any church, like cult of Scientology, you have a budget, so I need to get these so many vitamins to do the job. And we don't have the money for it. Okay, great. I have to do stuff that's not right, and then you get bitched at for it. You got to fight for the money, and then the hours were horrible. They just had me do it 7 days a week because they didn't have anyone for the weekend to administer it. And you felt forced to do it because of what they called out tech. So, if you don't do it 100%, you're fucked. You're doing it out tech. And that's like the biggest sin in the world.
And then is that the kind of thing that, because then also I think you said you spent a lot of time as an RPF person. So is that the sort of thing that then
never as an RPF? RPF is a Sea Org term. So
that's
as a staff, as a staff member, no. But
if you're out tech, then you got to do like I
have the conditions.
Okay.
And I've done the conditions so many times, and it's sad, really sad to see and some of my memories of myself and other people who have underlying conditions. And
on OT7 especially, you said you made it that far up, and that's what I was thinking.
No, I'm not OT7. No, I thought I was.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was. Way back in a past life, I thought I was.
That's what I. Oh, yeah, one of your past lives.
He was just saying like.
Yep. Okay. And the e-meter, the e-meter and everything
was like in his like.
Well, here's the thing, right? In session, when you say stuff, let's pretend we're in session now, and I say to you, "Oh my God, you know what?" And you get this image, and you get the emotions, whatever your imagination is creating, and it feels real to you because they're acknowledging that it's real.
Yeah,
it's like you're getting approval from them, and because you'll say like, "Wow, you know what?" And I'm not joking. Somebody once told me a past life of theirs. They said they were a pumpkin, and I thought that was fucking funny. But it's real to them, man. And guess what? The reason why it's real to them is because the auditor just says, "Thank you, your needle's floating." If it shows the indicator.
Man,
and they feel acknowledged. They feel acknowledged by the e-meter, which is the real truth teller.
So is that where the high might come from? Like I
I was
to
high
this
off
movement, a huge fan of Doug Kramer.
No, I loved him. Yeah, he was awesome.
Oh my gosh. And the way that he spoke about this stuff.
I loved it.
So I guess maybe you must remind me of him in some ways, just with the way that you approach it in the way that you want to try to understand it.
That's cool. Yeah, I liked him a lot.
Yeah, and he talked about, how it was like a high going to auditing because,
Oh,
and
100%, man.
I didn't understand, but what you're saying kind of makes sense then.
Oh, hey, Minnie
Yeah,
says,
100%.
oh, when
Yeah.
are they? Hey, Minnie says, so when are they saying LRH is coming back since he's been dead for so long?
Dude, I feel really bad for that small percentage of people who believe that demonic asshole is not, he's coming back. Like,
Yeah. I wonder
that
if
was,
they'll ever
that is really
upgrade
evil.
like from a pack of cools to like a e-vape or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Oh, we love you,
That's a good one. Oh shit.
Minnie. We
Oh.
love
Uh,
you.
Like what if they stop making cool cigarettes?
oh my god, man. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think
It could happen. That
they're gonna blackmail Cool
that is a
and
very
make them keep on
specific.
making it.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you
and then
go.
Minnie says the messed up thing is also that some people, due to believing that the afterlife, including hang on, the messed up thing is also that some people, due to believing in the afterlife, including friends of hers, are definitely not Scientos.
Yeah.
Which is true, which is like the sucky thing. But Minnie, we love you.
No, it's totally fine, man. I mean, look, I think I understand what you said. You said
Yeah.
there's a lot of people with some weird ideas that are not Scientologists. Yeah, of course. Really fucked up.
Minnie.
Even
The
even
world
worse
is
than
full of
Scientology.
the
Oh
world is
man,
full of people with strange ideas, and
that's right.
so honestly, whenever we talk and give our messages out there, a lot of times I'll even just make it about critical thinking because I don't want to just keep saying cult because I know that you can
Yeah,
overuse that
they
word
block
and
it.
people don't
Yeah.
listen to you. So I'll say scam, pyramid scheme, or I'll just write for you to think for yourself, or I'll use their own
Hey,
Dianetics.
I just had a thought. I just had a thought. See, in staff, you get flat. They call it flattened, where they're going to drill you on the protesters. Oh, you're going to be okay. Um, so Corn, I'm going to say like I'm your supervisor, and I'm going to say, okay, I know you're going to go out in the street. You're going to see the protesters. We're going to drill you so you're flat on any stuff they say to you. And you will be flat like soda. Like you won't have any reaction.
Yeah.
You'll look at them and go, I'm superior. They're in a trap. They don't
We get
know what's
lots of
going
those
on.
looks. We get lots of that.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They think they're above
But they
everything.
still look at my chalk. So
That's cool. And
yeah.
so what happens is this: you're gonna get words that get flattened. What cult is a flattened word. Like when they drill inside the org, and they just practice. Like I'm going to be a stranger with you. Okay, let's practice. Hey, you cult, blah blah blah, cult, and then you've got to get flattened on it, so it doesn't bother you.
So we could be inspiring some TR drills that are personalized, is what you're
Yeah, I was
saying.
just
This is
saying
what
that.
I'm
So
hearing.
what if
Yep,
you?
do you
Yeah,
hear
that's
this?
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So
Oh, this is kind of cool.
what
So
if you said something like, "We love you," or "Love is real." I don't
We
know. I
do
don't
tell
know.
them to have a great day, or like Helgier and I have gone out in traffic to stop the cars so that the elderly lady can get across the street who has a hard time
That
walking because
that's nice.
we know if we approach her, we'll likely get the police called on us. So, but I cannot just watch.
No, and they will recognize that deep down. It's humanity.
It is.
They'll recognize it.
It could be my
And
grandma. Like I can't just watch her walk across traffic like she's playing Frogger. And what if she fell? What if she fell?
yeah,
So
well
yeah.
then, if she fell, she should be in ethics and do her PTS rundown.
Ugh, that's awful. I know, and that's so terrible
So
that is
sad.
really
So sad.
or even like when we go to the park. So there's this park a couple of blocks from where the org is, and we see so many of the Scientologists in that park. And a lot of times we're not live when we're in the park,
mhm.
and well, will greet them so nice, and we
Yeah.
get so many smiles from them, especially a lot of the girls.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it
And
will happen. I've
uh,
been there. I know exactly what it's like to it, to that degree.
You know what
I
makes
I
that
know it.
easy though is that we speak to everybody, like
100%.
homeless people,
That's
and
awesome.
or
Yeah.
whatever word is not offensive to people. I don't mean any offense
Mm,
by
Yeah,
that. I
no,
try
Good.
to give a little of something. Um, it may not be much, and it may only be
but
to
it's
one person in need, but I do
Now,
every
see,
time I
people
go.
people pick up the intention and the
Mhm.
sincerity. Sincerity cuts right through.
Oh,
And
Helly
so,
says that
yeah.
that everybody talks to me, that I attract oddball characters. So
Amy asked,
Hey, Amy.
did you achieve the state of clear?
No, I only got up to tiaras and objectives, which is right after the purification rundown.
would you like to obtain it now? All you have to say
Well,
is,
well,
I have been
I've
mocking up
said
my
the
own
phrase.
reactive mind, but I'm not going to do that anymore.
I said that about 6 months ago. And, it's just still things are fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Hey, it's so crazy. It's such a when I
I
found out
actually
that
like to
clear
say that I
cognition.
rely on my reactive mind, and so I don't want to be rid of it.
Yeah, yeah, there's actually a reason for it,
Hmm.
if you even want to call it that.
If you want to
Um,
call it that, yeah.
yeah. So he creates implants. So he puts a seed of it's basically a lie, and he says you've got a reactive mind. Look at all this research and technology and words and procedures that we have to validate such a word. We want to help you get rid of that. And they buy it because of all the confidence behind it.
And because you're looking for an answer to why you're having problems, and someone
It's
just
so,
told
yeah.
you this is why, and we have the answer.
And when you get higher up, um, looking at people who are ex Sea Org and everything that's been said the past year, they really fear ethics. The people higher up, they don't go out of the borders. They don't go out of the box because of the severe ethics penalties of disconnection and all that shit.
I write a lot of
Uh,
messages about disconnection too,
yeah,
and
it's ugly. It is ugly, and that's how you torture people with that.
well,
And
if you ever wanted to pop in, whenever we manage to get back out when the weather's nice, I actually never know what we're going to write until we get there. And so
oh yeah,
sometimes it's nice to have the chat. If you ever had something specific, even,
yeah,
you
I'd
know,
have fun thinking
it's
of
like making chat
billboard.
part of the protest, even.
Yeah, there's no method to our madness
Nope.
Yeah,
when we go. Like, we literally, we will decide, okay, let's go. And then, okay, Corn has no method to talking. She just starts
yeah,
talking.
that's the way to do it. Yep.
And then we have no method to when we do what we do when we're there. It's like, oh, let's go to the zoo. Oh, what are we eating?
We're very
Hmm.
fly by the seat of our pants,
That's
spontaneous.
good. Sometimes that's the
Spontaneous.
best way. Like
Yeah.
I said, I'm not a good planner, so I'm more
Mm-mm.
impulsive.
Yeah, we are so impulsive. It's
We
like,
have to
oh,
kind of plan because I don't know if Dip explained, but she and I are both in Indiana, and then
Okay.
but a train ride away from Chicago,
Oh,
and
that's nice,
then
man.
our heli gear comes from Wisconsin
Wow.
and drives to meet us, and then we have Juanita and Never and Nana who are in Chicago, and so really it's just about picking the day, and then we'll say, well, this is what time, these are the trains we could pick from. That's about
That's
as far
awesome.
planning as we go,
That's
and then we
awesome.
get
Yeah.
there.
although
That
the
that's a
last
that's a
time,
real story. Like you guys have a real story. Now
Yeah,
I
we met
understand
on
none.
March 3rd, so I mean it's really cool.
Wow. So none of you have a history with Scientology, right?
no,
No,
That's
not one of
awesome,
us.
man. Listen, this is what's got to get exposed to. Um, I think I could be doing more exposure on this, but
You'll come
you know,
to it
I
in your
have my I
own.
have my limits. You know, I got my limits, and I'm like, I'm not going to do videos for a while, whatever.
If you let
But
it come naturally, it'll
yeah,
be exactly as you meant for it to be.
it's look, man, you guys who are never in are incredibly valuable because you're showing the ex Scientologists who were in elitist group. You know, like they were the best. They had this. They really believed it. That no, you guys don't. You know, and you're showing true heartfelt um, bonding over
Yeah.
something so vicious and evil, and it's real. It's real. It's people can sense that, and
I do
it's
have a
just so
Jehovah's
so
Witness
valuable.
background, and I think that a lot of
Yeah.
us, like Helly was talking about her background with the Krishnas and or like near misses. Um,
Yep.
but you can relate even if you've ever just been coercively controlled or like in a
Yeah.
high
Yeah.
demand any kind of relationship
Yep.
where or group, so
Yeah. You're right.
it's
Different.
touching people in so many different ways. And then yeah, a lot of us are kind of like we're childlike still, and maybe realizing that Dip and I like to say that this is like what we're doing instead of having a midlife crisis.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a midlife
Oh,
crisis, but
good.
it's
Oh,
a
good.
crisis of we're done raising kids, now what? And
Hey,
so
here's an interesting thing. Like, you guys could even write a book. You don't have to make something epic. You say, hey, this is the story of five girls. This is how we got together. This is what we do, you know,
I don't
and
know
make an
who else
awesome
heard
story.
Brady Munch when he said that, but I did. It's a story
Yeah.
when he
Yeah.
said about five
The goldenrod
And then you
girl.
see all the faces, you know, looking down on each other and across.
Yes, exactly.
One smoking a
Exactly.
jag, you know, and,
Oh
passing it down.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I got that. I got that. Oh, that's
It's
funny.
funny.
Story of the goldenrod girls.
So I wrote down a comment too. So the art streams I think are really interesting, and they also
Kelly
help
says she's
create
on it.
create
Helly's
the
our writer.
community. Oh yes, Helly is our journalist. That's and a songwriter and guitar
Yeah.
player.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So I'm hoping that we'll get more song debuting and guitar
Yeah, hell
playing.
yeah. Hell yeah.
So I was curious though too. About the art. Brian is in the chat from a poet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you two might be. Whenever you were talking about your works and things like that, I just
Yeah,
thought
for sure.
reach
Yeah.
out, or even Tilty and Fluffer.
Exactly, Amy.
Oh, I love those guys. Yeah,
Hmm.
they're some of my favorites. I want a plushie of Tilty and Fluffer. You
Oh,
know, they're a great couple.
I
They're great
know, I
to have, man.
know.
Yes.
They're
They are
they're
great.
wonderful.
They are. So the counseling. This was my other question. Question, because I can't imagine going through marriage counseling
Wait, before you ask
Scientology
it,
style.
yeah, before you ask it, I just want to add
Hmm.
to Brian as the poet. Um, yeah, my main works are poetry and haiku, and I also have story ideas. But my biggest advice is have confidence in what you write. If you need someone to give you confidence, like I do, you know, is what I'm writing any good? You know, feel free to share it if you want with me. If you like, we can share it through email.
He
And
does poetry reading streams.
oh
That's
wow,
why I thought of you.
wow!
And
I
so I
never
thought if
thought
you two
about that.
connected,
Brian. I gotta check you out. So, um, how do I? What's his YouTube channel?
from a poet, Brian
Okay,
Lucas.
okay. I might even have him on my friends. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Brian's amazing.
He's been around for so long
Yeah,
too. I
I've
recognize that
definitely
name for
seen
so
him.
long.
Yeah, I've
Um,
definitely seen him around.
oh yeah.
So, poetry readings. That's a good idea.
Yeah, so that's why I thought maybe that's a niche that not everybody is in, but for those who are, I think it's good to make connections then, you know.
It's absolutely, absolutely. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Um, yeah, I plan to get stuff self-published, and you can self-publish today real easy, real
Yeah.
easy. That's why I said you guys could write a book. You don't need anybody anymore. You don't need an editor. Well, maybe if you want, You
Yeah,
don't need a publisher. It's Kindle Direct Publishing, so Amazon.
there you
You
go.
put your book right there in Amazon, and people, it's all over the world.
Well,
It's
maybe
all over the
Helly
world.
can be our writer, and we'll just be contributors.
Yeah, yeah, whatever, But that's what I'm planning on doing with some of my work,
Yeah.
and yeah, I can't wait. Before I read it, I kind of want it to be published first,
Hmm.
just to protect my work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I you get paranoid with that. Yeah,
Well,
I
and you
still
may as well. I mean, it's coming from you, and that's what makes it
right.
unique. So,
Thanks. Yeah.
did we go over your daughter? I know you mentioned that you had to leave, but I believe I heard in
Oh, that was the
your
hardest thing
videos
ever.
you
Yeah.
have contact now.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's very good to hear.
Very good. I mean, that was a nail biter for a decade. Because I'm here where I am. She's over there in Oregon, and she's being. Her mother is a Scientologist.
Mm.
And it's amazing to see how she never became one. And she even said to me that she's not. It's like wow.
Very
Like
good for
she,
her.
but it kind of tells you something too. She probably saw a lot of shit.
Well,
Oh,
and then
I'm
you
sure.
left, and she knows that.
Yeah, yeah.
So that has to make that alone, that action alone, hard as I'm sure it was.
I did tell her the truth. You know, like a couple years ago or a year ago, I just say like, "Hey, this is my condition," and I honestly believed I was OT7, and I left because of my confusion, yada yada. I told her the story, and at least that's known. It's time for her to know.
Mhm.
She's 18, so
Yeah.
I look forward to the future with her for sure.
That's awesome that she's at that age now. That's such a great age too, because
It is.
for her to already know that she doesn't want, to be aware enough to know that
Yeah,
that's not for her.
that meant so much to me, and
To
then
be
it's just like
smart
wow.
at
Yeah.
18. That's great.
But now I don't talk to her about Scientology like we're doing right now. No, I keep
Yeah.
it off the table just because she's still connected to the mom.
Well, of course. I
I
mean,
have no,
I can't even
yeah,
imagine being that daughter and how hard that is. Has she been
yeah,
disconnected from anybody, or has her mother been threatened that she would have to disconnect because her daughter is
nothing.
not a Scientologist?
No, no. You
Okay.
can be connected for that reason, but if you do a suppressive act in
Okay.
there, then you can be disconnected.
Okay.
If you get declared a suppressive person because of the acts that you've done against Scientology,
That's right. I forgot. You got to have the declare
then
first.
you can't communicate because they're messing with your eternal freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I even wore a T-shirt with my own declare over the summer.
Oh, I like that.
It was
That's
the
really good.
SP shirt. It was actually from Eat Predators, but she made a shirt that
Mhm.
said SP for safe person. And then it was kind of a combination
Sane
because,
person.
yeah, safe person.
Oh, okay.
No, but I maybe do need to write a shirt that says sane person too. My favorite inflatable Kenny from South
Oh yeah.
Park, but
Yep.
also the clown, where you'll have to go and see, there's a thumbnail, and it looks like the clown is standing on his hands. And so literally I'm talking out of his ass. And so I just stand there the whole time. I think I had a poster that
That's
said
perfect. That's
LRH,
perfect.
or Sea Org is LRH's clown college or something. And yeah. So we
Wow.
try to get creative.
Here's an idea. Just like a music album, switch it up. Do like your fast poppy songs, and then go deep and go to a slow song once in a while. Like they expect you to be comical, but one day go out there and just show about Lisa McPherson.
We've done that too. We
Yeah,
actually have
that's
we named the tree out front the Lisa
Yeah.
McPherson Memorial Tree. And
yeah.
we wrote, when it was her, with the anniversary, I actually wrote a message for her and for Doug on one of the last trips that we got out there. But we try to make it, we've done personalized messages, like with Liz Ferris's name in them
Mhm,
before.
mhm.
And we've written out some of the survivors YouTube channels with the I went on Juneteenth, and I thought I would test. We were getting a hard time back then about chalking and the
Yeah.
legality of chalking and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and they were trying to
They
intimidate
never
us.
had that problem before. They're like, what the fuck? Shocking. Like,
So I decided that I would park over by the skate park in by where the train drops people off, because I thought, I'll bet you nobody will care. They'll just think, why is
oh
this
yeah.
50-year-old woman on her hands and knees chalking? So I made it a double message, and on one part, I had some time to spend by myself waiting on my friend to get there, and so I just wrote a Freedom Day or Juneteenth message about, with a good quote there, and then a message with the survivors.
Yeah,
And
that's really good.
yeah, and nobody bothered me. Nobody came with
But
a
they
bucket to
did see
scrub it
it. They did
away.
see it. Like, when you see a something disturbing or something you don't want to see, like, you won't forget it.
Yeah,
you might look away, but you still it's there.
yeah.
And here's another thing about when you're protesting. I'm sure you're aware of this, but maybe not. Know what kind of impact you're still having on the public and the staff, because that's in their minds, and they have to audit that shit. So
That's
when you
right.
start, when
Okay.
yeah, when you start a session, they have to check a few things. One of them is if you have any upsets, and before they can start the therapy session. But they ask for upsets, and you can easily, and they'll read it on the meter. You can't be like, no, the shit will read, and they'll say, what's that? Well, I walked by this protest sign, and it said, kids should not be in Scientology. And to be honest, that's what it said. And the auditor's like, okay, it doesn't do the needle thing it needs to do. So they're going to dig. Anything else? Then the guy has to confess, well, I kind of agreed with that.
Mm,
Or something like he does not want to say.
yeah.
Oh, okay, your needle's floating, like they get to the bottom of it. They can with that device. I think with that device, though, it seems to be easily fooled. I'm no expert at that, but
Yeah, it
if
sounds
you
like it's a
believe in it,
mixed
if you believe
bag.
in it, you
It's a
believe in
mixed
it.
bag, I think, that of how much. I think that the person, I think you both have to believe for it
Yeah,
to be the full effect.
yeah, yeah,
And then there's
yeah,
those who maybe can fool it a bit and know what is being looked for, or they just know, I'm going to make up whatever. I know it's
yeah,
not true, but I'm going to make it good,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and I'm going to get the hell out of here.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Hey, those, believe it or not, those auditors are trained for that. Like, they're fucking hawks. It's creepy.
oof.
They will get whatever they want to get out of you if they're trained. And that's the
Well, don't they
blackmail
have
material.
someone kind of giving them what they want to get out of you too? Like usually, like if you're being pulled in and questioned maybe because of something, like somebody's written up
Yep.
a knowledge report on you. I'm
Sure,
trying to get
sure.
all the stuff I've remembered. And so now you're being questioned, and so they know exactly what they want to get out of
Oh
you.
yeah, yeah. The case supervisor who writes the orders for the auditor, um,
Yeah.
and looks over what you do, will fine tune a list of questions that they want answered. And it could be as perverted or as dark or whatever as you can imagine, just to get those answers. Because I've learned through the people's past, they use it for blackmail. It's kind of
Yeah.
simple.
And that's
Kind
the
of simple.
crazy thing is
Yeah.
that they fine tune it and figure out the who's and the what's for
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
sadistic. I mean,
Yeah. It is. It is. It's very sadistic. And when you actually look at Hubbard
yeah, I
and looking
have.
at
It's
it's very sadistic, especially his mindset.
yeah.
Little that we know of, he did believe in spirits. He did believe in demons.
Well,
He
I'm
did.
also a Dana at Rotting Jewels fan, and she's done a lot of research. And what I like is that it shows, it's like old newspaper articles. It's
Oh yeah,
proof,
yeah.
it's
That's great.
receipts, and it shows his interest, back whenever it was Crowley and him and Jack
Yeah,
Parsons. And
yeah,
I think she has one live that she called something about the homunculus moonchild. It
yeah, yeah. No,
sticks
you're
with me.
right. You're right.
There
And
you
that had to
go.
do with what's his name? That rocket guy. What's his name? I can't remember. That famous guy who created the rocket. Parsons.
Oh yeah, Jack Parsons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how he took it off with his girl, and there's all the
But
dark
there's a little.
stuff to
Check
it.
this out, though. Check this out. I know you thought about it, but even for the viewers, try to look at that in a little bit more detail.
She's got so much information that I'm honestly kind of rewatching some
That's cool.
because I found Dana through Doug,
So,
and
so
Doug was
what's
looking
Dana's
into
channel?
it.
What's
At
Dana?
It's at Rotting Jewels.
Oh, right. I love that name. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
saying that to them. Yeah,
And what I like about her too is that she kind of stumbled onto the Scientology of it all. She didn't
yeah,
start there. It's just embedded in so much. So, and
yeah,
conspiracy theories are just that until they're not theories anymore. And
yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
whenever you have documents from our government that
yeah.
they finally
Look,
release, and yeah,
people
it's
conspire. We conspire all the time.
and you
And
don't
who's to
have to
say?
know all
Oh,
the answers, and you don't have to understand everything you're hearing or seeing.
yeah.
Thank you. But it's fascinating to listen to, and she's way smarter than me anyway. Like
No,
I feel
no.
so lost that I really got to go back. But I
Hey,
appreciate her work.
hey, I got to do that too. This,
Yeah.
you
It
know.
I
all
still
feeds
rewatch
into
Doug's stuff
everything.
too, honestly,
Yeah, I
because
love
it's
Doug.
just
Yeah, I loved when they
his
talk
voice
about the
was,
OT stuff. I
yeah,
loved it. Yeah,
yeah. And what
that
I
was.
liked about him, what stood out was how, oh, sorry, hang on a second. My phone's plugged in, so I knocked it down. He had kind of a grace for, even though this had happened to his father. Are you looking for the dog's harness? I just saw it. Um, he didn't really blame his father. He wanted to understand what happened to his father.
uh,
Like he describes it as his dad, like getting lost to this thing when he was 9. Like his dad left, and um, a new person came back, or his dad never came back.
wow.
And so he says, I just want to understand, what I lost my family to, basically. So he
Yeah, I
had a lot
remember
of
him
grace for
talking
his
about that.
parents.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, I can relate just because of the crazy reality I thought I was in. This happens to so many people.
Yeah.
If if you find out, quote unquote, find out, if you believe that when a Scientologist tells you that you're immortal and you've had trillions of lifetimes and your existence is trillions of years old,
Yep.
and you really buy it, you get this incredible elation and you can do anything, and the worries that you have don't mean anything because, well, if you die right now, it doesn't matter. I've been alive trillions of times.
And you're going to come back. And
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And it's like, so these people will make these great moves like I did, but
Yeah.
probably worse. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to leave my family and go up the bridge so that next lifetime I can blah, blah.
Remember, it's the bridge to total freedom.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's right. And that reminds me, Juanita is our Bridge to Total Freedom chalk artist, except for she writes out like a hopscotch board and puts in the OTs in it, and then writes there is no OT
Yep.
9 and
Oh, that's
10.
awesome.
Yeah. And Juanita also is bilingual and does
Nice.
chalk in Spanish while I will do the chalk in English.
That's
So,
fantastic. Hey, hold that note. I'm going to get some coffee.
yeah, no
Okay.
problem. I might actually have to get off of here and into chat, Dip, because a lot of activity with my dog and with dinner time
Okay.
and stuff. But this is so interesting, so I still want to hear everything.
Cool.
And Dip will still be here. So, and I'll stay until he comes back so that you're not hanging by yourself. I think we were looking for the dog's harness to get him outside. But today my dogs laid together. I made a video. They laid together on the couch for the first time together.
Aw.
I know, and it just kind of happened. So I think it
can't
had a
believe-
lot to do with the heated blanket.
Well, and then when I can't believe we've been on here almost 2 hours or about 2 hours.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Yeah, we have. Well, does anybody else, did Helly want to come up and meet him too?
Helly, do you want to come up?
Or I know Juanita was in the chat too. I know Nana was multitasking, so just in the chat today. So, but yeah, it's really interesting. A lot of the, and some of the things that we're going to talk about are it's all, if it's just based on someone's, opinions or beliefs, I believe everybody has,
Oh,
a
nope,
right to
Helly
have their
said she's
opinions
running
on
out of
things.
Nope, Helly said she's running out of go-go juice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too.
Yep.
But yeah, he's going to get his go-go juice, that coffee. So what I wanted to ask too, whenever he comes back, if you don't mind, the marriage counseling seems like it would have to be its own version of hell, because I can't imagine, does that mean that they are sitting there each bringing up the grievances of the marriage and then auditing each other to a middle, like I can't even imagine what it would be like arbitration for marriage. Are you listening to me?
Yep, nope, I am. There was something on my computer and it was driving me nuts.
All righty.
So I was scratching it off because I was like, I can't do this. Like,
I thought I heard something.
Yeah, no, I was scratching it off. So everybody heard me like doing the scratch, scratch, scratch. Sorry, everyone, because there was something on my. Sorry, all the like 6 people that are in here. I'm like, there was something fuzzy.
Well, yeah. So whenever I'm thinking about like the arbitration, it's it's going to be someone who has a grievance, and then the goal for the person who did this thing is to convince you that you brought it in.
Oh,
I'm going to leave you with. I'm going to leave you with my question, and then I'm going to dip out and let you answer.
Okay. Yep.
I want you to describe what it's like to have to go through marriage couples counseling.
Oh man.
Is it like auditing or
Yeah.
not? And then I'm going to dip out and let you answer. Okay.
Sure. So it's 3 people. It's you, your spouse, and the auditor. So one person sits in front of the auditor, and the other person, the spouse, sits on the side and watches. So they ask you all kinds of questions, and personal stuff that you feel guilty about, whatever. You're going to be like, yeah, I did this, and she's right there, and you feel stupid as hell, but it kind of gets it out there, right? I'm like, all right, it makes kind of sense. It gets it out there, breaks the rhythm of lying and all that. For some people, some people get divorced or all that because of, they have stuff they've done to each other. So sometimes with any kind of counseling, when you put it out in the open, it can kind of clear it up. Oh, I'm sorry for those things. Okay, yeah. It's not Scientology, really. So anyway, because it's talking about, my ex's experiences, I don't want to reveal too much, I respect that, but it came to a point where like, I realized why we got married in the first place. And it was like revealed, and it was stupid. It was stupid. Oh, we got married because we had intercourse, oh, that's why. Oh my God, and then, floating needle, I was done. And it lasted maybe a few days or maybe a week. I don't remember. But because of my confidence in who I thought I was, I walked around like nothing's wrong with me. And others saw that too, other Scientologists, and they must be like, oh yeah, he's more high-toned than his ex. even though the ex I feel horrible about, I put her through a lot of shit because of my condition, and which was never acknowledged. That's she was innocent. She's a good person. Still is, I'm sure.
Now, when you guys were going through this, how long did you guys do that? Like,
how long did we do the marriage counseling?
Right.
It was only maybe for around a week, maybe less. Because what they're looking for is that floating needle. There is no it will end in a few hours. Like they're just waiting for that end phenomenon. That's what they call it. And I guess having the floating needle was what they were looking for. That's what I guess. I'm not trained, but that's what happened. And it was a huge relief. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. I didn't hide anything. I even said in the marriage counseling what I thought, that I was an OT7 and female, and all that. Because I believed it. I didn't hold it back. I wasn't like, yeah, I'm lying. I'm just making this shit up. No, I was like really into it. And I still got the floating needle, even though it's not a truth, It's hilarious.
Well, and again, it's interesting how you still got the floating needle.
Yeah, based on something that's not true. And the e-meter is supposed to read your spiritual energy. You know what I mean? It's like so full of shit. So full of shit.
It's all true, but
yep. And that's what convinces you. You get this faith in the e-meter, and they drill it in you too, like unshakable certainty. You will achieve unshakable certainty. And you kind of aim for that. Just as a Scientologist, it makes you believe his writings. Oh, it's so ridiculous. When I look back, it's really cringing.
Now, here's the funny thing. I can't believe that can you believe, this is 2 hours.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
I can't believe this is 2 hours. Now, would you want to come back?
Yeah, it was fun. Absolutely.
So, and because I can't believe this is 2 hours, and
no kidding.
We haven't even because I don't even know where the 2 hours went, because it's already after 8 our time.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Because I was like, holy crap! I looked at my phone and I was like, holy crap! It's 8 o'clock.
Right. So, hey, you have my email, right?
No.
Okay.
Oh. Hang on. Let me grab my notes, because I thought I grabbed a pen, but let me go to my notes on my phone then. Because again, I'm in my son's room and.
Oh yeah.
Because again, my lovely, wonderful Dachshund dog. If you want a Dachshund, I got a Dachshund who eats cat food.
It's good stuff, man. He doesn't want anything else.
Here's the funny thing. So I got him because he was free. Okay, what's your email?
It's really simple. It's theholyrogue@gmail.com.
Oh, that's so simple. Come on.
It's so simple. Yep. And just send me something regarding when you want to do this.
Okay.
I'm available. I started doing nights, but right after work, that's kind of iffy because I'm exhausted and blah blah. But maybe some nights after 11 or maybe around midnight. I don't know if that's real.
We'll figure it
Or
out.
yeah, or
And
during the day like we're doing now.
but yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yep.
And then yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's very fun, and I think this is really important. You're talking to, you and your group, your friends. You're talking to an ex-Scientologist, and you've never been in Scientology. This is a very important thing, I think. It
And
allows
again,
me, yeah,
it's about making a difference because like for the girls and I, it's about, because I mean, again, obviously we're never ends, and it's about for us planting seeds and making a difference
yep,
because we're wanting to plant seeds and make a difference. And like that's it. I mean, we want to make a difference and figuring out that balance. And
it's awesome. No, really, I mean,
we're not the biggest of channels, any of us girls.
I know,
But that's
you don't
not,
have to be. You don't have to be.
we're not in it to have huge channels. That's not what we're here for. We're wanting
Right.
to make a difference. Like
It's
we
not a
don't care
business,
about it.
it's okay that people make money off it, really is, but it's not our means of income. It's something we do from the heart. If I ever get monetized, if I get that statistic, I probably will. Why not get a few more dollars for groceries or whatever, or action figures or comic books? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, you can get find your comic books again,
Yeah,
right?
there you go, right? I could do a review. I could do a
Hey,
review.
so we can find our, the He-Mans or,
Yeah, man, for real.
rookie card again.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with that. I have nothing against that. I
But
just say
it's making the difference.
my thing is, I think with a lot of people is, you know, how do I say it? Like, we all have different tastes, different styles. We all want to hear certain information, or we expect certain people to do certain things. But you just have to, just got to let it go. Like,
Like Elsa says, let it go.
yeah, let a person be who they are. And if they're causing harm to you or anybody you care about, do what you want. I spoke out to people that I wanted to speak out to, and that's all I can do. And my care goes to them. I just hope, it doesn't get confused. I just, anyway, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling.
Hey,
I was going,
we're like the hair bands, we're like, we're better, we're like those hair bands, like, in the 80s, we're coming back, bigger and better. And
yeah. I think,
thank you for hanging out. And
yeah. And just as, I guess as a last message, as, don't ever think this movement's dying, because it's not.
no, it's not.
I realized the other day, I think it's good to pass on. Even if 5 of the top figures of this movement disappeared, it'd still be strong because of people like you. I'm dead serious. Like people who've never been in. You give a crap. You talk to people that you want to talk to who are real. You find the Scientologists. Like, it's not dying. You don't have to hang on to some person's opinion. It's dying now because he doesn't agree or he's becoming an asshole, And just no, it's not dying. It's not at all. Just me doing this makes me, I'm more active than I've ever been, even though it's not as much than other people.
Well, again, thank you. And
yeah,
then we'll figure out a time and we'll do this again. And
absolutely.
And we'll make it work. So
awesome. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks everybody for being here. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.